no. Why? I need the pistol. Why? 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 What's this way? I want to take why? Why? Into my home. Into my home.
Give me that taser now.
No. Because into my home.
In, out. In. Hey, look at me. No. Come on, face this way, deep breath. Deep, no, me.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
I know. Deep breaths. I want to hear deep breaths. Like that. One more. Come on. No. You're clearing up. Come on.
You good? I just shot him.
Come on. It's okay, look at me. It's okay.
They finally take him down and then forget to secure him. After multiple failed taser attempts, they finally managed to put Clark on the ground. And now you're thinking, great, it's over, they got control. Oh no, my friend. Instead of getting to knee on belly, side control, or even just securing his wrists, they somehow decide this is the perfect time to tase him again. What happens next? Clark, a 42-year-old man with zero grappling background, shucks off 3 deputies and gets back to his feet. I repeat, they had him down and let him get back up. Tasers didn't work. Pepper spray? Wasted. Tackle attempt? Zero positional control. Let's try beanbag rounds, period. But here's the reality. Most cops don't train jiu-jitsu. They get laughably minimal defensive tactics training, and once they leave the academy, most never train again.
There's 1,000 miles between you and I. Oh, my. Just 1,000 miles between me and paradise.
The other one was Cash Patel was here tonight. I know he made some news saying there could be a deal between you guys and the FBI at some point. I guess, has there been any further discussions and where you are on that? What might that look like?
Well, after he said that, my phone blew up. You know, everybody wants to be the trainers to the FBI now, so I got everybody. But he's dead serious about that. I talked to him about it tonight. Yeah, he's dead serious, so we'll see. We'll see how that starts to come together.
Welcome back, everybody. As many of you guys know, I'm a law enforcement trainer and instructor. I train and instruct military and law enforcement alike all across the nation on various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, investigations, use of force, etc. And so this is a very interesting dynamic that we're seeing. Cash Patel is now wanting to implement MMA training for all FBI agents. I think this is great. I think a big push of this is also probably driven by his secondary, Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent. He was a defensive tactics instructor for the FLETC Secret Service Academy, so you have a lot of knowledge and training experience there. I think intentionally, I think this is great. Now, with anything government related, we'll see how the implementation is. But I have no doubt that they have, obviously a very great team working on this. Cash Patel, as far as organizational policy, probably one of the leading experts on that, especially when it comes to government implementation. Dan Bongino, same thing, very smart guy, has done it at the instructor level, understands the rank and file, understands the hierarchy and organizational components of a federal law enforcement agency. And then Dana White with the UFC, again, great leadership there, great organizational prowess there. And then most importantly, you have the professionals. You have the mixed martial arts, world-leading professionals there that know how to implement a program. They're already implementing programs. So implementing one for a law enforcement agency should not be very difficult at all. The templates are there, copy and paste, if you know what I mean, and then fix them for the necessary components for what a federal law enforcement agency will be doing. But I think this is important because we have to realize that the majority of law enforcement makes, probably on average, when we look at the stats, is about 4 hours or less. So about 4 hours annually of defensive tactics training that our officers are getting. Now, there's some that are getting way more. And then there's some that are getting none. I know many officers who have received 0 continuing education hours in defensive tactics since their initial certification. And so this happens very regularly. And a lot of that is, you can argue with anything, but a lot of it is, well, we don't set physical fitness standards for liability reasons. We don't do defensive tactics standards for liability reasons, because if my officer gets hurt, he's no good for anybody. And that is that's very common. And let's not pretend like, and again, my channel is not to hold water for any law enforcement agency. I know a lot of my peers watch my videos, and I've already been talked to about it. But I'm telling you, I just don't care. Again, I'm not here to hold water for anybody. I'm just here to tell the truth about what's going on out there. And there are a lot of administrators out there that are refusing to want to do physical fitness standards and refusing to want to do defensive tactics standards and training because of risk mitigation. I get that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't get that. But we can also see in the videos there's a huge difference between somebody that is trained and somebody that is not trained. As you can see with the untrained individuals, 3-on-1 can eventually, if they're overpowered, outmaneuvered, can lead to a deadly defensive use of force, right? And then you see on the other end, you have 1-on-1, and that individual was able to not only control the scene, was able to take that person to the ground effectively, get effective side control, to use a Kimura to flip them over, control the hips, to handcuff. He did that by himself without his Oakley sunglasses on the back of his head moving. Again, you don't know what you don't know. And so there is a huge difference between somebody who's trained and somebody who's not trained. Another caveat to that is, a lot of everyday citizens don't know why officers aren't better trained. And again, there's that risk management component, meaning that the agencies are not going to participate, they're not going to pay, they're not going to advocate for that change, for that training. And also, you got to think it is a money thing, right? Everyone thinks for some reason that every police officer makes NYPD, LAPD, Portland Police Bureau money. That couldn't be further from the truth. Here in Eastern Oklahoma, take the agency I'm currently at, uncertified officers are making about $14 an hour. Certified officers are making $17.50 an hour starting. So when your officers are making $17 an hour, maybe $18 if they've been here a few years, you're really expecting, you can't really expect them to put all this money into, and especially when they have families and children, put this money into an expensive, BJJ membership they have to drive 35 minutes to, and so it's one of those things where we have to look at a cost venue analysis. And so with that, again, I get it. A lot of police officers here, every police officer that I know, that I talk to, they all have secondary jobs. They do. Even the state police in my area have secondary jobs. So when everybody has a second job to make income to support a family, and then telling them, hey, we want you to take on defensive tactics, we want you to do this, that, and the other, we're not going to pay for it, we're not going to support it, but we want you to be better. I guess don't be surprised when it doesn't happen or turn out. And that's just the unfortunate truth, and that's something that we have to fix. And I'm glad that at least on the federal level, we're seeing some policy driven changes, and hopefully that'll lead to some effective models that can be used on a state, county, municipal level. Another thing to look at as well is, especially for those of us that do live in the rural communities, and again, I'm biased because of the fact that, the only sport I participated in growing up was wrestling, whether that's freestyle Greco-Roman or folk style collegiate, what most people are familiar with. Go to your local, especially your rural guys, go to your local high schools. I'm sure they're always looking for I'm sure they can always use volunteers. I know, just based upon my experience with wrestling, the heavyweights, they don't get all the love they deserve. They're usually wrestling with the same person over and over again, just because there's not a whole whole lot of heavyweights. And so, you know, going out there, participating with your local community, you know, getting those reps in, I think that could be a very beneficial thing to everybody, right? To local schools, love the fact their officers are in there interacting with those guys. Love that the officers are doing community-orientated training. Love the fact the officers are in the schools participating with their youth. I think that's a win-win for everybody. Win-win for the officers because they're getting hands-on, they're getting their reps in. So again, these are just different options to look at. But what do you guys think? I'm interested to know in the comment section below. What do you guys think? Do you think there really is truly a difference between a trained person, untrained person? What do you think implementation should be put in place? What do you want to see out there? I'm very curious to know. Well, I hope you guys liked the video. If you like, please like, share, subscribe. As always, guys, long live the Republic.